Mark Slaughter with Halfway There, 10 tracks for 43 minutes. The second solo album from the Slaughter frontman, released May 2017 via EMP Label Group, which is Ellison Music Productions, so Dave Ellison's label.
Right.
Co-produced by Mark Slaughter and John Cranfield. Mark also handled the writing and most of the instrumentation himself as well. 2 tracks were released in the lead-up, Hey You and Devoted. This is yet another audience request as well. So, Nikki.
All right. Let me just start by saying I was a massive Slaughter fan. My God, I love that band. So,
I was a Slaughter fan too.
Was so looking forward to this. Started strong, then went to Snorville. Coolest thing about this CD is the artwork. Matured as a singer, less screechy, cleaner vocals. Not bad, not good. 5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay, didn't expect
You're
that.
so mean.
Yeah.
Am I?
Oh my God.
I'm just honest.
Jimmy.
You want me? All right. I've always
We're a
liked Mark
professional bunch
Slaughter's voice. He's got a very unique sound. He's one of those guys you know who it is when you hear it. You kind of know if you're a Slaughter fan, obviously. I had this album for a while. I wasn't all that impressed when I first heard it, but it's kind of grown on me. I did give up on it for a while though, until we reviewed it, which we've just done. So I've only recently been re-listening to it.
Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Not a lot of what we do makes sense, but anyway.
Yeah, I've written here he's obviously lost the high pitch from his early days, but maybe it's a deliberate thing, I don't know. But I think his voice is actually better now without that real high stuff that he was doing. This guy really knows how to write catchy songs, I reckon. Really mature songs. And that would be right, because he's probably about 50 odd now and been doing this for a little while. I love the production on this. It's big stadium rock, which I really love. I think if you like Slaughter or an 80s hard rock fan, although you wouldn't agree, you really need to check this out. It's right up your alley. And it's definitely not the tired, washed up old 80s rock star going through the motions.
No, that's true. I'll say that for it.
It was a fine album. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. And my pen was working back on this stage. I had Standouts, Hey You, Supernatural and Reckless.
Nice.
Cool. This was another really good album. I thought everything sounded fantastic, like you said. Still a really big 80s vibe, but with the modern twist, you know, you used all the modern toys beautifully. Gang vocals go a bit Def Leppard in parts for me, but it still sounds like a Slaughter album. Like, make no mistake, it's still definitely Mark Slaughter out there. It was really cool. The middle of the album went a little bit flat. I found more of those sort of 80s montage kind of songs in there that got up my nose a bit. The second half of the album, though, got a lot darker and dirtier, and I was a lot sort of more comfortable there. I thought the
second half was better than the first.
Like Reckless hit some Black Sabbath kind of riffs and sort of, all good. But all in all, I thought it was a really, really strong album. Comeback album, even you can call it that, if it's been a while. But, you know, I gave it 8 out of 10. The highlights for me were Reckless, Conspiracy and Devoted.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, for me, this was the first album out of the pool between the 2 weeks that finally had the compression sorted, so thank you for that. I listened to a few albums in a row where I was just bagging the compression non-stop, and now I finally got one that's actually got some life to it. Quite the diverse little package, really well done. So, Nikki, I think you're on the outer for this one.
Would have been the first time.
Mark is quite the talent. Vocally alone, he's pretty damn good, but this is different. It's a showcase for him. A few different styles on here, and he does them all really well. That said, the performances are all pretty good in here as well. I'm not sure what instrumentation he did. I know he handled most of it. I don't know exactly what details he did. But as a solo project, he's fucking done well. Big moth. He's also got some pretty good hooks in this one too. Good track order. It's again diverse. Some of these tracks do flirt with some pretty interesting territory musically. I'm not sure how many will love every single track on this record. There were some that I was sitting there going, probably not for me, but overall pretty good. But with solo projects, you're usually going to get more of those diverse things. You're not going to get a Slaughter record when it's just him doing it. He's he's working to his own boundaries, not to boundaries imposed by other people working with him.
Yeah.
The layering on here is pretty damn good as well. I love the use of space in the mix. I get a bit of the 80s on this one at points in a big way. But there are some big anthemic moments that come from that era, but the snare sound, the key changes, they are straight out of the 80s on this one.
For sure.
And I love the use of panning and the tempo changes that break things up on this listen too. There's a bit of everything on this. There's some almost pop moments, which I was talking about the interesting territory before, but there are some balls out riffs, even a touch of Alice in Chains, and you were talking about Black Sabbath. The track Conspiracy for me had a pretty big Alice in Chains kind of vibe on it. I don't know if you got the same thing as me, but that's what I thought. Lots of different moods and emotions are conveyed on this one nicely. Let's try to take over everything here. And all in all, it sounds good, has nice flow, kind of reminds me of Alice Cooper in parts. I'm just not sure the whole thing completely clicks, but it works pretty well as a good listen. There are a few moments where I found myself picking out mistakes, things that weren't quite right as opposed to being caught up in the listens, which pulled me out of it a little bit. No serious faults, and normally I like those reality that those things bring to a rock record. But I think because overall this album was so meticulous in its approach, when things weren't quite right, it sort of stuck out as opposed to just glossing over it like you do with a typical rock record. But overall, it's a crisp, clean record. It's done overall really well. It just doesn't beat what else we're reviewing over the next couple of weeks, and it does feel a touch contrived at times. It's a bit of a pity because overall it's really good, well worth a listen. I just don't think it holds up under repeat listen. So the first listen was really good. So I'm the opposite of you. The first listen was really good, but then the more I listen to it, because I've listened to things like 3 times, it just didn't hold up on the repeat listens for me. So we've gone opposite directions in that regard. But aside from that, it was actually nice to get an album that had its mix right. So that points for that alone. But I did still like it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I picked Conspiracy halfway there and Reckless. So check it out for yourselves. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah.
Interesting that you said you gave up on it and stopped listening to it.
I did.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, I did.
I love Slaughter. Like one of my favourites.
Yeah, I was too.
So excited.
Riff Raiders. Has everyone done Riff Raiders?
Riff Raiders.
Musical fucking shuffling chairs.
Here we go. Yeah.
It'll fade.
It's pungent.
Don't light a match.
I can taste it. I can smell it, but I won't eat it.
So beefy, I shouldn't smell it. I'm a vegetarian.
So jumpy, you can carve it.
Euphemism, Brendan.
A euphemism. It's another euphemism.
Wayneism. Here we go. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go.